Captain Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the human starship Valiant, staring at the shimmering void outside the viewport. Stars stretched across the black expanse like diamonds scattered on velvet. Beyond the glass, unknown dangers waited in uncharted space. But Marcus's mind was fixed on one thing: rescuing Princess Liara, daughter of the Zilari Queen. The mission had come directly from the Galactic Alliance Council. The Zilari were one of the oldest alien civilizations in the galaxy, known for their wisdom, diplomacy, and formidable technology. But even the might of the Zilari could not prevent their daughter from being kidnapped by a rogue faction that sought to destabilize the Empire. If Marcus succeeded, it would strengthen the fragile alliance between humans and Zilari. If he failed, the consequences could ripple across the galaxy. Marcus turned to his team, each member a specialist in their field. Lieutenant Rena Voss, a brilliant tactician with unmatched analytical skills, was reviewing the mission maps on her holographic tablet. Sergeant Jarek Tomlin, the team's weapons expert, was checking and rechecking their gear. Engineer Lyra Chen was busy fine-tuning the ship's propulsion system for the dangerous voyage ahead. Marcus's voice was calm but firm. "We're going into enemy territory and we cannot afford mistakes. Stick to the plan, but remember, sometimes the plan has to change. Trust your instincts. They may save your life." Rena looked up and nodded. "Understood, Captain. We'll be ready." Marcus's eyes drifted back to the stars. Humans were far from home in this part of the galaxy, but that did not matter. Humanity had survived countless challenges, from planetary wars to near-extinction events. They were resilient, clever, and adaptable, traits that often surprised other civilizations. Marcus took a deep breath, letting pride and determination fill him. The briefing had been clear. Princess Liara had been taken to a remote planet at the edge of the Draxian sector, a place few ships dared to enter. The rogue faction had fortified their defenses, expecting anyone brave or foolish enough to come after her. But humans had a reputation for ingenuity. They were not just another species in the galaxy. They were survivors, problem-solvers, and sometimes the unexpected heroes. "Captain," Lyra said, pointing to her console, "I've adjusted the engine calibrations. Valiant can handle the gravitational anomalies near the Draxian sector, but we'll need to navigate carefully. Any miscalculation could tear the ship apart." Marcus nodded. "Good work, Lyra. Your skills always give us an edge." Jarek leaned against the railing, arms crossed. "I just hope we get to fight the bad guys. I hate missing a good battle." His grin was wide, but there was a tension in his shoulders. They all knew the risks. Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "Patience, Jarek. The rescue comes first. Fighting comes second." The ship hummed as it left known space and entered the uncharted void. Outside, stars seemed to stretch and twist in strange ways as the ship passed through spatial distortions. Marcus felt the familiar mix of exhilaration and unease that always came with deep space missions. Here in the dark and quiet, the crew's courage would be tested, and Marcus knew that humans often rose higher when the odds seemed impossible. Hours passed. The team worked in quiet efficiency, double-checking equipment, running simulations, and planning every possible scenario. In a small briefing room, Marcus spread out a holographic map of the target planet. "This is it," he said, pointing. "The planet's surface is mostly desert with jagged rock formations. Enemy sensors are strong but not perfect. Princess Liara is being held somewhere in the central fortress. Getting in won't be easy, but there are weak points. Rena, you'll lead the navigation inside the fortress. Jarek, weapons and defenses. Lyra, you'll keep the ship and equipment running no matter what." The team nodded. They knew the plan could change at any moment, but they trusted Marcus. He had led them through countless dangerous missions before, and his instincts were rarely wrong. As they approached the planet, a storm of dust and wind swirled across its surface, visible even from orbit. The enemy's fortress loomed like a dark crown atop a jagged mountain. Sensors showed motion within, patrols, defensive drones, and automated turrets ready for any intruder. Marcus clenched his jaw. "It's worse than we thought, but that doesn't matter. We're not here to fight them all. We're here for Liara, remember that?" Rena's voice was steady. "Captain, sensors show a small cave system near the fortress's south wall. It could provide a stealthy approach." Marcus studied the hologram. "Good, that's our entry point. We'll land there and move carefully. No unnecessary risks. Everyone stay alert." The descent through the atmosphere was tense. Dust whipped around the ship as it pierced the storm. The Valiant shuddered but held strong. Marcus's hands moved over the controls with precise, practiced motions, guiding the ship through the chaos. Suddenly, alarms blared. Jarek shouted, "Sensors detect enemy drones. They're scanning the area." Marcus's eyes narrowed. Evasive maneuvers. Lyra, boost shields. Rena, prep for immediate landing once we get past the storm. The ship darted through the turbulence, weaving between towering rock formations and gusting winds. Marcus felt the familiar thrill of danger, but also the trust in his team. Together, humans had survived far worse, and somehow he knew they would survive this too. Finally, the Valiant touched down in the shadow of the cave system. Dust settled and the alarms quieted. The planet's harsh winds howled around them, but inside the ship the team felt a moment of calm. Marcus exhaled slowly. "We're here. Remember, our goal is Liara. Stick to the plan, trust each other, and watch each other's backs. Let's move." The crew donned their gear, weapons strapped and ready. Marcus led the way into the shadowed entrance of the cave. The darkness was thick, but human eyes adjusted quickly. Their footsteps echoed off the stone walls as they moved silently, aware that every moment could bring danger. Rena paused and held up her hand. "Sensors detect a patrol ahead. We need to be careful. Wait for my signal." Marcus nodded. He could feel his heart pounding, not with fear, but anticipation. Humans often thrived in moments like this, thinking fast, acting decisively, and never giving up. The patrol passed without noticing them, and the team pressed onward. The cave led them closer to the fortress walls. Outside, the wind whipped and howled, but inside, the human determination burned bright. Marcus knew that this mission was not just about rescuing a princess. It was about showing the galaxy that humans, even far from home, could face impossible odds and succeed. Finally, the cave opened to a hidden approach path, giving them a clear line to the fortress. Marcus looked at his team. "We made it this far, one step closer to Liara. Remember, courage and brains win where sheer strength cannot. Let's finish this." As the sun set behind the jagged mountains, casting long shadows across the desert, Marcus led his team forward, determined, fearless, and ready. This was only the beginning of a mission that would test everything they had. But humanity, he thought, was made for moments like this. And somewhere inside the fortress, Princess Liara waited, unaware that her fate was about to change forever. The hidden path led Marcus and his team closer to the fortress, winding through jagged rocks and narrow canyons. The desert wind outside still howled, but within the shadows of the rocks the team moved cautiously, silent and alert. Every step carried the weight of danger, yet Marcus's confidence never wavered. Humans had a gift for improvisation, he thought. When others saw obstacles, humans found opportunity. Rena walked beside him, scanning the area with a handheld sensor. "Captain, automated turrets are active along the walls, but their coverage has gaps. We can sneak through if we stay in the shadows," she whispered. Her sharp eyes reflected the glimmer of her confidence. She had trained for situations like this, but she also trusted Marcus's judgment. "Good work, Rena," Marcus replied quietly. "Stick close. Watch for any traps. And remember, we're not here to destroy their defenses, only to get Liara out." Jarek crouched low, adjusting the settings on his blaster. "I just hope these gaps are wide enough for us. If not—" He didn't finish the sentence, but Marcus knew he meant trouble. The team moved slowly, every movement calculated. The turret swiveled lazily at first, scanning in programmed patterns. The humans held their breath, timing their steps with precision. Finally, they slipped past the first line of defense without triggering an alarm. Marcus allowed himself a small smile. "See? That's what I like about humans. Patience and observation. It gets results." Lyra, carrying a compact toolkit, inspected the cave walls near the entrance to the fortress. "If we can disable the secondary sensors for just a few minutes, it will give us a safer path to the inner courtyard," she said. Her hands moved quickly, skillfully bypassing complex alien circuitry. Marcus watched in admiration. Human technology might be primitive compared to the Zalari, but ingenuity often leveled the playing field. After tense minutes of careful work, Lyra gave a thumbs up. "Done. Sensors are temporarily offline. But we don't have long. Move fast." The team pressed forward, entering the fortress's outer courtyard. Shadows stretched across alien architecture, tall spires glinting in the fading sunlight. The rogue faction had fortified the area, but Marcus noticed small cracks in their defense. gaps that human ingenuity could exploit. "Keep your eyes open," he instructed. "The princess could be anywhere and the enemy will be watching." As they advanced, Marcus caught sight of a patrol moving near the perimeter. The aliens were taller than humans, with sleek armor and elongated limbs. Their eyes glowed faintly, a trait of their nocturnal adaptation. Marcus held up a hand, signaling the team to freeze. Rena whispered, "2 guards. They're heading toward our position." Marcus studied the pattern of their movement. "Jarek, take the left flank. Lyra, stay ready to override any automated doors if we need a quick escape. Rena and I will move straight toward the inner gate. Follow my lead." The humans moved like shadows, sticking to walls and avoiding light. Jarek's blaster hummed softly as he disabled a guard with a non-lethal stun shot. The team ducked behind cover as the other patrol member looked around, confused. Within moments, they were past the patrol, but Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The inner courtyard stretched wide, and beyond it, the fortress's central tower rose like a spear into the sky. Marcus studied the layout. Sensors, patrols, and turrets were everywhere, but the humans' adaptive thinking gave them an edge. While others might see an impenetrable fortress, Marcus saw paths, weaknesses, and opportunities. "Captain," Rena said softly, "I'm picking up faint life signs inside the central tower. They're clustered in what seems to be the upper chambers. Could be Liara." Marcus's heart quickened. "Good, that's our target. But we need to be careful. We don't know how many guards are inside. We'll move in stages, slow and steady." The team navigated through shadowed corridors, using a combination of human cunning and technology to avoid detection. Marcus noticed Liara's presence becoming more apparent. Small clues, a discarded glove, faint footsteps, even a slight vibration in the walls, hinted at her intelligence and resourcefulness. She was not merely waiting to be rescued. She'd been leaving hints for someone clever enough to find her. "This princess is smart," Marcus murmured. "She's helping us without even knowing it." Hours passed as the team moved closer to the upper chambers. The fortress was full of traps, but Marcus's experience guided them. He remembered human lessons from Earth's history. When trapped, humans often thrived on creativity, thinking outside the box. That instinct had saved countless lives, and now it was saving Liara's. Finally, they reached a high-security corridor. Sensors lined the walls and cameras rotated constantly. Marcus paused, considering their options. "Lyra, can you hack the camera feed?" Lyra's fingers flew over her portable console. "I can loop their feed for 5 minutes. That's all we'll get." "Good, everyone ready?" Marcus asked. The team nodded. "Move on my mark." The corridor was tense, every step echoing softly. When they reached the first camera, Lyra activated the loop. The image froze. Marcus led the way, stepping carefully through the corridor. Jarek stayed close behind, scanning for patrols, while Rena kept a mental map of every obstacle. Suddenly, a soft mechanical click sounded behind them. Marcus froze. "What was that?" Rena's eyes widened. "Motion sensor. They've detected movement in another part of the building. But it's not here. We still have time." Marcus didn't relax. He knew humans often faced moments of unexpected danger, and those moments tested more than strength. They tested courage, wit, and unity. "Keep moving. Focus, we've got this." As they approached the upper chambers, a faint voice echoed through the walls. Liara's. Marcus couldn't make out the words, but her presence energized the team. Human determination surged stronger when the stakes were high, and Marcus felt the familiar fire of leadership. Rena signaled a stop. "2 guards ahead, but they're distracted. If we move quietly, we can get past them and reach the tower's central elevator." Marcus nodded. "Stay low, move fast, and remember this is about Liara, not a fight. Avoid confrontation unless absolutely necessary." The team slipped past the guards like shadows, hearts pounding, senses sharp. Marcus noticed the princess's clever planning, a trail of subtle clues leading them directly to her. She was more than a captive. She was an ally in her own rescue. Finally, they reached the central elevator. Marcus examined it carefully. It's protected by an alien security code. "Lyra?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Nothing humans can't handle. I just need a minute." The seconds felt like hours as she worked, overriding the security system with skill and precision. Finally, the elevator doors opened with a soft hiss. Marcus led the team inside. "This is it. The upper chambers. Liara must be close." The elevator rose slowly, each meter bringing them closer to the princess and the heart of danger. Marcus's mind raced with possible contingencies, but he trusted his team. Humans often thrived where others faltered. Quick thinking, adaptability, and unwavering courage were their greatest weapons. The doors opened onto a dimly lit hallway. The scent of alien metals and faint incense filled the air. Marcus signaled the team to spread out. Every shadow could hide a guard. Every corner could conceal danger. Rena's scanner picked up faint movement ahead. Life signs. Multiple readings. But one is distinct, smaller human-sized or smaller alien. Marcus's pulse quickened. Liara? A soft movement in the shadows confirmed it. The princess was there, alive and aware. She had not given up. She had been clever enough to survive and cautious enough to leave clues for rescue. Marcus felt a surge of admiration. Humanity often excelled under pressure, but so too did those who shared their courage and intelligence. "We found her," he whispered. "Now we get her out." The team readied themselves for the final approach. Outside, the sun set over the fortress, casting long, twisting shadows across the alien walls. Danger was all around, but human ingenuity and determination shone brighter. Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The hardest challenges lay ahead, but he also knew humans were made for moments like these. As they moved forward, closer to Liara, Marcus silently vowed, no matter the obstacles, no matter the dangers, he would see her safe. And in that moment, deep in enemy territory, human courage and intelligence proved once again why humans were unique, adaptable, relentless, and unstoppable. Marcus motioned for the team to spread out, each member moving carefully along the dimly lit hallway. The life signs were clearer now. Liara was nearby, but so were the enemy guards. The air was tense, electric with anticipation. Every step could trigger alarms. Every wrong move could end the mission. But Marcus remained calm. Humans thrived in such moments, using quick thinking and courage where others might falter. "Stay close," he whispered to his team. "Remember, this is about Liara, not fighting every guard. Avoid detection if you can. Neutralize threats only if necessary." Rena nodded, her eyes scanning the corridor. Sensors show 2 guards ahead. "Their patrol is predictable. I can time our movement between their sweeps." "Good, everyone ready?" Marcus asked. Yarrick gripped his blaster, silent but alert. Lyra adjusted her tools, ready to hack or override any barrier. Marcus felt the familiar surge of human confidence, the unshakable belief that even against overwhelming odds, humans could find a solution. As the team crept forward, Marcus spotted something in the shadows, a discarded piece of Liara's clothing, a faint clue she had left behind. A small smile appeared on his face. The princess was clever. She had survived on her own, leaving subtle hints for someone perceptive enough to follow. Humans often excelled in detecting patterns and noticing what others overlooked. That skill would save them now. They reached the first security checkpoint. A mechanical guard hovered, scanning the corridor with a faint blue light. Marcus held up his hand. "Lyra, can you loop its sensors?" "I'll try," she whispered, fingers flying over her portable console. "Give me 30 seconds." Marcus counted down silently. The team held their breath. When Lyra gave the thumbs up, the mechanical guard paused, its lights repeating a looped sequence. Marcus led the way past it, every movement measured, careful not to trigger alarms. The corridor beyond was quieter, but the tension grew. Each door, each corner, could conceal enemy reinforcements. Marcus signaled the team to halt at the next intersection. Rena pointed to a stairwell leading up. "Sensors detect Liara above. We're close, but there's a guard stationed at the landing. One misstep and then we move smart," Marcus said. "Jarrett, cover the stairwell from below. Rena and I take the landing. Lyra, stay ready to override the door if needed." The plan unfolded with precision. Marcus and Rena crept up the stairs while Jarrett remained below, watching for reinforcements. The stairwell was narrow, the echo of their footsteps dangerous. Marcus's heart beat steadily. Humans had always excelled in strategy and adaptability. When faced with the impossible, they found solutions others could not see. At the top of the stairs, they found the guard stationed near Liara's door, his back turned. Marcus motioned to Rena. With a quick, silent movement, she subdued the guard with a stun device. The man collapsed quietly, leaving the hallway clear. Marcus allowed himself a brief nod of approval. Human patience, timing, and precision had once again paid off. They approached the door where Liara's life signs were strongest. It was a heavy, reinforced panel, protected by alien technology far more advanced than human engineering. But Marcus had faith in Lyra. "Door's secure, but I can override the lock," Lyra said, her voice calm under pressure. "It'll take a few minutes." Marcus checked the corridor. "Make it fast. Guards rotate every 10 minutes. We don't have much time." The seconds felt like hours. Lyra's hands moved skillfully over the console, bypassing alien security codes with ingenious methods. Marcus watched, thinking about how humans often thrived under pressure. Where other species might panic, humans used intellect and creativity to overcome obstacles. Finally, the door hissed open. The team froze, listening. Inside, they could hear soft footsteps, a cautious, deliberate movement. Liara. Marcus stepped forward slowly, motioning for the team to stay silent. "Princess Liara?" he called softly. From the shadows, a young figure emerged. Her eyes were wide but determined, a mix of fear and intelligence. She was taller than a child, but smaller than a fully grown Zalari adult, her features sharp and alert. Marcus could see the strength in her stance. This was not a frightened captive. This was a young leader, clever and resourceful. "Are you here to rescue me?" Liara asked, her voice quiet but steady. Marcus knelt slightly to appear less intimidating. "Yes, Princess. We're here to take you home. But you need to follow us exactly. Can you do that?" Liara nodded. "I've been waiting for someone smart enough to find me. I left clues. I hoped someone would come." Marcus smiled. "Your plan worked. Now let's get you out safely." The team moved quickly, Liara joining them at the rear. Marcus assigned positions. Rena in front, Marcus beside Liara, Jarek covering the rear, and Lyra monitoring sensors and doors. They retraced their path through the corridor, careful to avoid detection. But as they neared the central elevator, alarms suddenly blared. Marcus cursed under his breath. The rogue faction had discovered the door override. Humans thrived on quick thinking, and Marcus knew they had to act fast. "Move. Don't stop," he shouted. They sprinted down the corridor, guards pursuing them from above. Jarek fired non-lethal blasts at the advancing enemies, keeping them at bay. Liara ran beside Marcus, her sharp mind already adapting to the chaos. She pointed out patterns in guard movements, helping Marcus navigate through the maze of corridors. Rena led the way to the elevator, her calculations perfect. Elevator's open, but it's exposed. "Move fast." Marcus guided Liara inside. "Lyra, bring it down, now." Lyra tapped the controls. The elevator hummed and shuddered as it descended rapidly. Guards fired from above, but Marcus and his team moved with precision, ducking and dodging with remarkable agility. The humans' adaptability and courage were on full display, traits that set them apart across the galaxy. Finally, the elevator reached the lower level. The doors opened to a storage chamber with a back exit. Marcus checked the path. "This leads to the caves outside. If we hurry, we can get to the ship before they organize a counterattack." The team ran through the narrow passageways, Liara close beside Marcus. She had picked up on subtle hints, using her intelligence to avoid traps and missteps. Humans often thrived when working with clever allies. Their minds complemented each other perfectly. Outside, the desert wind lashed against their faces. The fortress loomed behind them, its towers casting long shadows. Marcus took a quick glance at the horizon. The Valiant waited, engines ready, shields humming, but enemy reinforcements were approaching rapidly. "Ships that way," Marcus shouted. The team sprinted across the rocky terrain. Jarek provided cover, while Rena guided them through the safest path. Liara kept pace, her determination unwavering. Every step tested their endurance, every second counted. Humans often excelled under extreme pressure, and Marcus's team proved it now. Enemy drones appeared on the ridge above, scanning the desert. Marcus assessed quickly. "We split. Lyra, you and Rena take the left flank. Jarek and I take the right. Liara stays in the middle. Move fast." The team obeyed. Their coordination was flawless. Humans often adapted quickly in unpredictable situations, and this was no exception. The drones fired, but Marcus and his team used rocks and natural cover to evade. Blaster shots rang out, but none struck true. Finally, they reached the ship. Lyra overrode the external locks, and the ramp descended. The team boarded quickly, Marcus helping Liara inside. She looked around at the human crew, her eyes wide with admiration. Humans, she realized, were not only strong and brave, They were clever, adaptable, and unafraid of facing the unknown. Marcus took the pilot's seat, starting the engines. The Valiant shuddered as it lifted off the desert surface, dodging fire from the fortress below. Jarek and Rena manned defensive positions while Lyra handled navigation and communications. Liara watched in awe as humans executed every maneuver with precision and courage. As the ship cleared the fortress, Marcus allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction. The rescue had succeeded, not just because of strength or weapons, but because of human ingenuity, determination, and teamwork. Even in a strange and dangerous world, humans could shine where others struggled. Liara's voice broke the silence. I never imagined humans could be like this. Brave, clever, amazing, Marcus smiled. We do what we must, and sometimes we surprise even ourselves. As the Valiant soared toward safety, leaving the fortress and its dangers behind, Marcus felt a deep sense of pride. This mission was far from over, but the hardest part, finding Liara and bringing her out alive, had been achieved. Humans had once again proved why they were respected across the galaxy, resourceful, courageous, and unwavering in the face of danger. And somewhere in the stars ahead, the next challenge awaited. But Marcus knew this. Humans were ready for anything. The Valiant cut through the dark expanse of space, stars streaking past like silver sparks. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was tense but purposeful. Marcus sat in the pilot's seat, hands steady on the controls. Beside him, Liara studied the holographic displays, trying to understand the human technology that had saved her life. The fortress was far behind them, but danger had not ended. Rogue drones from the enemy fleet were reported in the area, their scanners tracking any unauthorized movement. Marcus knew they would be pursued. Yet humans had always excelled in situations where every decision counted. Their ability to adapt, think fast, and act decisively gave them an edge no one could underestimate. Rena monitored the sensors, her brow furrowed in concentration. Captain, we're approaching an asteroid field. It's thick and unstable. The enemy fleet may use it to ambush us. Marcus nodded. Perfect place for a human advantage. Let's see what we can do with it. Jarek grinned. I like the sound of this. Nothing beats a little human ingenuity in a tight spot. Lyra's fingers danced across her console. I've mapped a path through the asteroids. It's risky, but it will slow any pursuers, Marcus smiled. Humans thrived on calculated risks. That was how they had survived countless challenges on Earth and across the galaxy. Take the route, Lyra. Everyone, brace yourselves. The Valiant weaved through the asteroid field with precision. Massive rocks drifted perilously close, yet Marcus guided the ship with skill honed over countless missions. Blaster fire from enemy drones streaked past, but the humans' timing and positioning kept them safe. Liara watched in awe. I've never seen anyone move a ship like that. Humans, you're amazing. Marcus glanced at her. It's not just me. It's all of us. Humans are clever, adaptable, and we never give up. That's why we survive. Despite the danger, small moments of humanity shone through. Liara and Marcus talked quietly about the stars, the galaxy, and the civilizations they had seen. She was fascinated by humans' resilience, their courage, and their curiosity. Humans, even in the darkest situations, seemed to find light, hope, and determination that inspired others. Hours passed as they navigated the asteroid field. Marcus noticed the enemy fleet gaining on them. He adjusted speed and trajectory. They're fast, but we're faster. Humans think quickly and act faster. Suddenly, an enemy drone struck one of the ship's shields. The Valiant shook violently. Jarek fired back, but Marcus had already calculated an evasive maneuver. The ship darted between two massive asteroids, the enemy drones unable to follow. Lyra cheered softly. Nice work, Captain. That was textbook human problem-solving. Marcus allowed himself a short laugh. We do what we can. He glanced at Liara, whose eyes shone with admiration. Humans had a reputation for bravery and creativity, but seeing it in action left even the clever princess amazed. As the asteroid field cleared, they approached a quieter region of space. Marcus knew the enemy would regroup, so they needed to stay alert. Liara sat beside him, asking questions about the humans' home planet, Earth. She wanted to understand how humans could be so resourceful, so courageous, in the face of danger. Marcus explained. Humans survive because we adapt. We think fast. We never give up, and we value our companions. Every life matters, every choice counts. Liara nodded thoughtfully. I see that now. I thought my people were strong, but humans, you're extraordinary. The conversation strengthened a bond between them. Humans often thrived on cooperation, not just strength. Marcus realized that this partnership, human courage and Liara's intelligence, could achieve what neither could alone. Hours later, the ship entered a nebula, clouds of gas and dust swirling around them. Sensors were distorted, visibility low. Marcus's instincts took over. Humans often excelled in uncertainty, relying on intuition and quick thinking. He guided the ship carefully, dodging unseen hazards. Captain, sensors are weak here, Rena warned. We might be flying blind for a few minutes, Marcus nodded. Then we use our eyes, our instincts. Humans are good at this. Trust yourselves. The team worked together seamlessly. Jarek scanned for threats. Lyra adjusted propulsion systems. Rena monitored sensor readings, and Marcus piloted by intuition and experience. Liara assisted, pointing out obstacles and suggesting alternative paths. Her cleverness complemented human skill perfectly. Suddenly, enemy ships appeared on the scanner, faster and more numerous than expected. Marcus quickly calculated a maneuver. We split formation. Humans can adapt faster than machines if we coordinate. He assigned positions. Jarek and Rena on defensive flanks. Lyra managing shields, Liara observing patterns, and Marcus piloting the ship through a dangerous path. The humans' coordination was flawless, their quick thinking keeping them ahead of the enemy. Enemy fire struck near the hull. Sparks flew, but the Valiant remained intact. Marcus tilted the ship, dodging through narrow gaps in the nebula. Liara shouted directions, noticing enemy blind spots. Her observations, combined with human intuition, allowed them to evade destruction. Finally, the enemy ships gave up pursuit temporarily, unable to anticipate the humans' clever tactics. Marcus exhaled. Humans think, adapt, and survive. That's what makes us dangerous to anyone who underestimates us. Liara smiled. I understand now. I thought humans were just strong, but it's your mind, your creativity. It's amazing, Marcus glanced at her. And bravery. Humans never give up. Even when the odds seem impossible. That's why we succeed. The ship continued its journey home, passing through quiet sectors of space. The crew shared quiet moments, speaking of homeworlds, dreams, and the people they cared for. These moments reminded Marcus why humans excelled. They cared, they adapted, and they acted with purpose. Hours later, Zalari's space appeared on the sensors, a familiar sight for Liara. She gasped softly. Home, we're almost home, Marcus nodded. Yes, Princess, and humans always finish what they start. You'll be safe with your mother soon. But the mission was not over. Rogue scouts had reported their location, and one final challenge awaited. Marcus studied the sensor readings, calculating a safe approach through Zalari defenses. Humans often thrived in crisis, making the impossible possible through intelligence, teamwork, and courage. As they neared the Zalari border, Liara asked quietly, Captain, why do humans risk so much for others? Marcus looked at her, thoughtful. Because it's who we are. Humans value life, loyalty, and honor. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. And sometimes that makes all the difference. The Valiant passed through the border safely, but Marcus knew this was only the first step in restoring peace. Liara's return would strengthen the Zalari Empire, and her experience with humans would build trust between species. For Marcus and his team, the journey had tested every skill they possessed: intelligence, courage, creativity, and adaptability. But humans often excelled when tested, and the success of the mission proved it once again. As Liara looked out at the stars, she realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors. They were thinkers, dreamers, and heroes, and when their hearts and minds worked together, nothing could stop them. Marcus glanced at the young princess, smiling softly. We're almost home. And humans always find a way. The Valiant soared through Zalari space, shields humming, engines steady. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, but the humans' determination shone brighter than any light in the galaxy. And somewhere on the horizon, the Zalari Queen waited, unaware that her daughter's bravery and the humans' courage had combined to achieve the impossible. The journey home was dangerous, exhausting, and uncertain. But humans thrived on challenges, and Marcus knew this. Whatever lay ahead, humans were ready. Adaptable, courageous, and unyielding, they would always rise to meet the impossible and succeed. The Valiant glided through Zalari space, its shields humming softly, engines steady, and crew alert. Marcus Hale remained at the helm, eyes scanning the expanse ahead. The fortress, rogue drones, and dangers of the Draxian sector were far behind. Now the mission was almost complete, delivering Princess Liara safely to her mother, the Zalari Queen. But Marcus knew better than to relax completely. Rogue factions were unpredictable. Even in friendly space, unexpected threats could appear. Humans, however, thrived in moments like these, adaptable, clever, and unafraid to face danger head-on. Every decision counted, and Marcus's instincts had guided them this far. Liara sat beside him, gazing out at the distant Zalari capital. Her face reflected a mix of relief, wonder, and admiration. "Captain, I never imagined humans could do all of this. Brave, clever, amazing," Marcus smiled. "It's not just me, Princess. It's all of us. Humans think fast, act wisely, and never give up. That's how we survive. And we care about others. That's what brought us here today." Rena glanced at Marcus. "Captain, sensors show enemy scouts approaching. Looks like they don't want us to reach the capital easily." Marcus nodded. "Everyone, prepare for one last challenge. Humans are good at handling the unexpected." Jarek tightened his grip on his blaster. "Bring them on. They'll see why humans are dangerous." The rogue scouts moved swiftly, firing blaster rounds at the Valiant. Marcus's hands moved instinctively over the controls, dodging, weaving, and outmaneuvering the attackers. Humans often excelled in chaotic situations, combining skill, intuition, and teamwork to overcome odds that seemed impossible. Lyra adjusted the shields, ensuring the ship remained protected. "Captain, they're closing in. If we don't act fast, they'll hit us." Marcus smiled. "Then let's act faster." He pushed the ship into a daring maneuver, diving through a narrow asteroid belt nearby. The rogue scouts followed, but human ingenuity made the difference. Every twist, every turn was calculated with precision. By the time the enemy realized the humans' advantage, the scouts were already trapped and unable to continue pursuit. Liara's eyes widened. That was incredible," Marcus chuckled. "Humans are clever when it counts. We adapt, improvise, and never back down." Finally, the Valiant reached the outskirts of the Zalari capital. Its tall, shining towers rose like crystal spires into the sky. The city was peaceful, serene, and safe, the very place Liara had been taken from. The princess's eyes glimmered with hope and relief. Rena guided them to a secure landing pad. "We're clear, Captain." "No threats detected," Marcus nodded. "Good work, everyone. Let's bring Liara home." The ramp descended and the princess stepped out. She paused for a moment, looking at the stars she had traveled through, the dangers she had survived, and the humans who had brought her here. Her heart swelled with gratitude. Suddenly, a fleet of Zalari ships approached, escorting the Valiant into the capital. Word of Liara's rescue had reached the palace. The Zalari admired humans, but seeing their courage and skill firsthand filled the entire empire with awe. The team was greeted by a squad of Zalari guards as they exited the ship. Marcus guided Liara forward. Her small hand slipped into his, a gesture of trust and respect. Humans and aliens, united by courage and intelligence, had achieved the impossible. The palace doors opened, revealing the Zalari Queen. She was regal, with flowing robes that shimmered like starlight. Her eyes widened as she saw her daughter safe and the humans who had rescued her standing before her. "Princess Liara," the Queen exclaimed, rushing forward. Liara ran into her mother's embrace. Tears of relief and joy filled both their eyes. "You're safe. You've returned to me." Liara turned slightly, pointing to Marcus. "I owe him everything, Mother. Humans, they saved me." The Queen looked at Marcus, her expression a mix of gratitude and admiration. "Captain Marcus Hale, your bravery and skill have not only saved my daughter, but strengthened the bond between our peoples. You are a hero in our eyes." Marcus inclined his head respectfully. "Your Majesty, it was the team's effort. Every human here worked together to make this possible. Humans value life, loyalty, and courage. That's what brought us here." The Queen's advisors nodded in agreement, impressed by the humans' combination of intellect, bravery, and teamwork. Marcus realized that this mission was more than a rescue. It was a demonstration of humanity's spirit, resourceful, compassionate, and heroic. Liara hugged Marcus once more. "Thank you. You didn't just save me. You showed me what humans can do." I will never forget this. Marcus smiled gently. And humans will never forget your bravery, Princess. You survived, adapted, and even helped guide us. You're remarkable. The Queen motioned for her guards to honor the human crew. Marcus, Rena, Jarek, and Lyra were presented with ceremonial medals, symbols of gratitude and respect. Liara watched proudly, knowing the humans' courage had not gone unnoticed. The palace hall echoed with applause. Humans had faced impossible odds, navigated enemy territory, rescued a princess, and returned safely, all through intelligence, courage, and unity. The story would spread across the galaxy, inspiring hope wherever it was heard. Later, in a private chamber, Liara spoke to Marcus quietly. I want to understand humans better. Your courage, your quick thinking, it's extraordinary. Teach me so I can help others like you helped me. Marcus nodded. You've already learned a lot just by working with us. Humans adapt, solve problems, and protect those who cannot protect themselves. Remember that and you'll go far. Rena smiled. Princess, you've seen humans at their best. Take that lesson with you, Jarek added. And never forget, humans never give up. That's our strength. Liara's eyes sparkled. I understand now. Humans, you're special. I'll remember this forever. The valiant crew spent the next hours resting, sharing stories, and reflecting on their journey. Humans had proven their resilience and courage once again. They had navigated unknown space, faced overwhelming odds, and succeeded where others might have failed. Marcus knew that moments like these defined humanity. Bravery, intelligence, and compassion in the face of adversity. As the sun rose over the Zilari capital, casting golden light over its towers, Marcus looked out at the horizon. The mission was complete, but its impact would last far longer. Humans had earned the respect of an entire alien civilization, and their actions had strengthened alliances, proving that courage and intelligence were universal languages. Liara approached Marcus one final time. Captain, will humans always help others, even in danger? Marcus smiled warmly. We do what we must. Humans protect, survive, and rise to challenges. That's who we are. And now you know it too. Liara nodded, a sense of admiration and understanding shining in her eyes. The bond between humans and Zilari had grown stronger, a bridge built on courage, trust, and cooperation. The Queen watched the scene, her eyes reflecting pride and gratitude. Humans had proven themselves worthy allies. She stepped forward and said, Captain Marcus Hale and your team, you are forever honored in Zilari history. Your bravery, skill, and compassion will be remembered for generations. Marcus inclined his head humbly. Thank you, Your Majesty. It was our honor to serve. As the humans prepared to depart, Liara waved, a gesture of friendship and respect. Come back someday. Humans and Zilari together can achieve anything. Marcus nodded. We will. And humans never forget their friends. The Valiant lifted off from the palace, engines humming, shields gleaming, and crew ready for the next adventure. Humans had proven once again that their courage, intelligence, and adaptability were unmatched. No matter the danger, no matter the distance, humans would rise to challenges and succeed, always. As the ship soared into the stars, Marcus felt a quiet pride. This mission had been more than a rescue. It had been a testament to humanity itself. Humans were not only survivors but heroes, thinkers, and protectors, and in the hearts of the Zilari, they would always be remembered as the saviors of a princess and the bearers of hope. And somewhere in the galaxy, the story of Captain Marcus Hale and his team would inspire others, proving once more that humans, when united in purpose and courage, could achieve the impossible.